Kalzal made his home in Kama, a nearby residential area. From what I gather, Kalzal lived there since childhood and was known throughout the neighborhood. Kama. The name is new to me. How do we get there? I'll write it down in some directions. It cannot promise that you will find what you seek there, but if nothing else, it is a start. Come, let us see where this leads us. Alright. There seems to be several speaking opportunities. So we'll start with this one. Let's see. After leaving the Mayonnaise, where it should retrace all steps and head back towards the Apparatai Plaza. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna read it then if it's just directions. That's not very cash money, entertaining, exciting. Ah, screw it. Why not? It's lore, right? It's RP. That's the whole point of all this. Although I could just go Dancer and move along a little faster. And we're up to the next one. Right here. Stop it. Stop. I might have to dismiss it. From here, we ascend the stairs. Oh, so this is telling us we're going the right way. That's alright. I can live with that. Then, stage left. And now he's going to tell us to take another left, I'm sure. Or straight ahead. Ah, this must be huge. In which case, we should take the path leading southeast. Which, I guess, is this. Southeast is straight ahead. Down and right. Alright. If we keep going this way, we should arrive in Kama before long. Walking these unfamiliar streets is quite the adventure, is it not? I can only hope we explore Radstown at our leisure once this crisis is past. Yeah, well. Wishes and would-bes, right? Still, we're almost there. We're prepping, moving, moseying right along. Ah, this must be Kama. We've arrived at last. Let us begin questioning the residents without delay. No doubt someone here can tell us more about Kalzal. Given recent events, I imagine many are taking shelter indoors. I think I'm getting better at the British accent. I can't tell, though. Astra. No sooner had the weather turned than those nasty beasts started running amok. We're safe here, though, surely. Just don't have a bad day. Like, have a good sleep, a healthy breakfast, you know, do your laundry. Oh, thank you so much, Zero Gaming. I appreciate it. Much happy. Much thank you. I'm not understanding, though. Am I missing something? Or do I have to be a Dark Knight in order to see this? Could you come back another time? I just woke up and I'm not exactly in the mood for idle chit-chat. Oh no! Do not be upset, friend! Do not be upset! Please do not be upset, friend. Please do not be upset. Ah, well that's one way to avoid the panic, I suppose. Pardon our intrusion. You may not have noticed, but a great danger has came to Thavna. I encourage you to stay alert and prepare to flee the city should the situation turn dire. But before we leave you in peace, pray allow us to ask a question or two. Did you know a local merchant, Kalzal? If you did you notice anything unusual about him recently? Kalzal? I know him. In fact, we spoke just the other day. Like many others, his business was doing poorly. Still, it seemed as though he'd managed to turn things around thanks to a generous order from Ruveda Fibers. Why, he was practically dancing in the streets. Aw, I'm a dancer. I'm dancing in the streets too. I haven't spoken with him since, but I assume it all went well. Jin Nabaha might be able to tell you more though. As I recall, he was the one who brokered the arrangement. Jin Baha at Ruveda Fibers. Let's make a point to visit him after we've spoken with other locals. Man, code switching? Hard. Like, don't knock it until you try it. Because, yeah. Definitely more complicated than one would think. Surprisingly, going from foreign languages is easy, right? Ich könnte Deutsch reden und es wäre sehr einfach, and then I could go right back to English, no problem. But that's because I'm still speaking with my own tone. But trying to speak top nose or whatever, and then back of the throat, and then front of the... rough. Because the Hindu accent is kind of talking like this. You're speaking sort of from the back of the nose, and not from the true throat, and from the tip of your tongue. When you're speaking British, you are speaking very from the top of your mouth, and then you're accentuating differently than normal. And when you say certain things, such as the E's and the O's and the U's, it has a different connotation. But it's a matter of trying to get that without going full-on Cockney, Brian. If you're trying to talk like you're from London, from the mean streets of London, trying to get a pence for your meals or two, it's much different. Likewise, you can't just talk like you're from the upper British class, speaking with the Queen, because that's not how literally any of these people speak. It's just really hard to do non-cliche voices. Kaljal, you say? Yes, I've known him since he was a boy. If there were ever a man who was born to be a merchant, it was him. Always early to depart and later to return. He'd spend his days procuring the finest wares and seeking out willing customers. You could say it came to him as easily as breathing. Sadly, business was flagging of late. No surprise really what with how dangerous travel has become. He was cooped up in his house from dawn till dusk the other day, no doubt racking his brain for a way to turn his fortunes around. Then at night I heard the door open, looked out to see Kaljal sitting on a bench, his head hung low, a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders. I see. The situation must have been quite dire indeed. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary? Nothing to speak of, other than the troubles with his consortium. He was the same old Kaljal, cordial and honest like always. These questions you are asking, has something happened to him? He wasn't caught up in that terrible incident at the bazaar, was he? I don't travel much these days, but my daughters told me not to venture outside. Stuck in here as I am, I have heard little about these bazaar goings-on. Rest assured, the city is safe for now, but the situation may change without warning. I urge you, stay close to your daughter and be prepared to take refuge should this chap order it. Like, you're not telling the leaders that, basically, everybody who has literally turned into soulless manifestations of darkness, despair, and devastation. And now you're lying to these people who love this man, who was a genuine community figure. Like, a non-capitalist, like actually trying to help fellow man through business, as it were, through commerce. But you're telling them, like, oh yeah, he was fine. So anywho, what's Graha got to say? If I am not mistaken, these stairs lead to Dharma. It is quite the sight, the red sky above. During the final days of yore, the heavens burned and the stars fell. Creation magics run amok. That was my assumption when I saw Armor Row. Perhaps the ancient believed the same, that the terror of a single powerful individual was the cause of the calamity. It might very well be, though. That's the thing, right? Because what's being missed in this storytelling is the very real fact that the Asians, or whatever they were called beforehand, the Amortines, their energy, their feelings, their beliefs manifested reality. So if one truly succumbed to such darkness and despair that they themselves become devoid, and void manifest, they could be a living entity of pure darkness, devoid of emotion, which again would be playing on the Heartless, and how certain Heartless can still evolve beyond just a soulless minion into like an actual avatar of darkness and despair and depravity. And yet those self-same horrors now manifest themselves before our eyes. What could it be that sets the heavens aflame and turns ordinary men into beasts? Would that we knew, friend. Would that we knew. Alright, going through this vineyard, orchard-looking thing. Orchard, since those weren't mines, those were trees. Ah, they're farming silkworms. This must be Ravidia fibers, where we should find Jinnabaha. Jinnabaha. These names are hard to pronounce. We found Hasya. Jinnabaha. Jinnabaha. Let's go with that. Can we right click, please? And hurry, I say, there's no time to waste. See, they have COVID too. They're trying to avoid the plague. Pardon me, but you are in charge of buying and selling here, yes? We have a few questions that we'd like to... I'm sorry, but I simply don't have the time to chat. If you haven't noticed, we have our hands full at the moment. We must carry all our wares and equipment to safety before those accursed beasts return. Ha! Look at that badass outfit. Ah, in that case, might we be of assistance? Perhaps we can speak when the job is done. Very well. You can start by helping us move our equipment. Ask the others what to put where. Yoosh! I like that mask. It's not at all imposing, threatening, or intimidating, right? And you can carry our fabrics. What, because I'm a lady? Rude. Go through that door and speak with Kamala. She'll tell you the rest. Ugh. If Kamala leaves a bad taste in your mouth, I know. I know you know. And if you know, you know. Remember, these textiles are our livelihood. Handle them with care. Now, I figured I would just turn into a black mage and cast Fireball. Actually. And Fireball. Just kidding. Just kidding. This area is for employees only. Out, out, out. I'm a temporary work. A contractor. Ah, what's that? You've come to help. Oh, praise to be to Mindorova. Kind stranger, welcome your assistance. On your way here, you pass 3 storehouses, yes? I'd like you to carry that small crate to Nabrafal by the storehouse near the hatchery. The crate of clothing is for a Manuha. And that massive crate there goes to Zaimera by the middle storehouse. Watch your back with that one. Those are all the crates we have ready. Once they've been delivered, consider your work here complete. Oh, come on, really? Son of a bitch. Alright, the light crate goes to... Shit, Manhua? Yes. What does... How do I... No. I only have a limited time. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Oh my god. That said to... Oh, Nabrafal. Whoops, I don't... Ah, there he is. How did I miss him? I literally must not have turned right at all. My bad. Ah, thread is it. Then you've come to the right place. We thank you for your aid. Jesus. I literally have the memory of a gnat. I cannot remember things that easily, apparently. I don't know if that's the autism, the ADD, or something else. I don't know. If you have any crates of finished products such as carpets, clothing, and the like, pray bring them here to our primary storehouse. A crate full of clothing, is it? I can take that off your hands. Many thanks for the delivery. then the big one. Jeez, am I picking up that entire monstrosity? I know for a fact I could not lift that up. That is a two-man lift, sir. Oh my god, and she's just... Wow. That's the Warrior of Light for you. I say, you're quite the brawny one, aren't you? A good thing that. Never know when you'll need to defend yourself in these unpredictable times. A crate full of fabrics is exactly what I was hoping to receive. Here, let me put that away for you. Kid, you are scrawnier than I could ever hope to be, and you just plopped that away from me? I don't believe that. I'm at least a 6 foot tall, evolved bunny warrior. What the hell are you? A person? Anyway. Ah, you've carried all the crates to the storehouses, you say, and so quickly too. Why, I've never seen anyone so strong. It's because I'm the Warrior of Light. And a dancer. And dancers are strong. Don't forget that. I and my associates will accede to the rest, so please return to Jenna Haba and assure him our work is proceeding apace. To tell the truth, we're grateful for this distraction. Too many terrible happenings of late, but generous souls like yourself give me hope that we may emerge from this trial even stronger. I pray we meet again in more peaceful times. Me too. Because, yeah, this is pretty friggin' awful. Alright, go back to Dark Knight. Jinnabaha. Done as I asked of you. And answer my question. If Kamala is satisfied with your work, then so am I. You have done us a great favor, traveler. You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. I too have delivered the instruments and apparatus trusted to me. Apparatai. You think you're British. You both have many thanks. With our wares safely stored away, we'll not lose any more to those fiends. I take it that your establishment did not escape the attack unscathed. We did not. Thankfully, most of our workers had already left for the day, but those of us still here sought to hold. We looked at the burning skies in confusion, and then, before we could even begin to make sense of it, a hideous creature burst through the doors, shrieking. We ran for our lives, but one of my colleagues was not so fortunate. He cried out, a scream of such agony, such terror. And in the next instant, he too sprouted fearsome claws. The sight of it caused another fellow to panic, and then he too transformed. Yeah. It's like the negative emotion triggers the void. I'm sorry, there was something you wanted to ask. Indeed, you knew the merchant Kalsal, did you not? I believe we had some dealings with your establishment. Kalsal, I know him well. We'd arranged for his consortium to deliver a large shipment of fabrics, but in the end, we received a better offer and had to turn him down. I understand his business is struggling, but so is ours. Another of our most reliable trading partners agreed to transport the goods for a much smaller commission, and we'd have been fools to refuse. I felt terrible for withdrawing the offer, but you must understand we simply had no choice. He tried to put on a brave face when I delivered the news, but his dejection and despair were plain as day. He said he'd discuss it with his associates, but I could tell he'd all but given up hope. Dejection and despair. Indeed. You remember what we saw at Van Sparti, yes? Soldiers and jungle dwellers pushed to the very brink, turning into beasts one after the next. It would seem the same phenomenon occurred here. The poor craftsmen attacked by the fiends, as well as those that witnessed it all, undergoing the change. I suspect that everything began with Kalsal. By all accounts, it was he who suffered from the most profound and piercing despair. Wait, could that be it? Such intense emotions were what triggered his transformation. Much remains unclear, but I believe we are drawing closer to an answer. At any rate, we must discuss our findings with the others. Alright. Kingslayer. I do not know what LMF stands for.